My topic is why is fiction preferred over reality? We all prefer fiction over reality. So why is fiction preferred over reality? Well, the obvious answer is because there's no background music in reality. I'm joking. Though it would be pretty cool if there was background music in reality. I would love it. Like, have you seen Grey's Anatomy? They have music even when they're doing surgery. I think people play music during surgery in real life too, but that doesn't change the fact that it's really cool. Anyway, this question in turn gives rise to two more questions. What is fiction and what is reality? The dictionary defines fiction as invention as opposed to fact. Invention as opposed to fact, that's a little vague. So let us look around ourselves and try to understand what fiction really is. Harry Potter is fictional, Sherlock is fictional, Doctor Who is fictional, and so from here we gather that whatever is not real or does not exist is fictional. So Harry Potter was invented by J.K. Rowling. Doctor Who was in turn invented by C.E. Weber, Donald. Could you? No, it's not there. I don't remember. Sidney Newman, C.E. Weber, Donald Wilson, and Sherlock Holmes was invented by obviously Arthur Conan Doyle. So then now we have another question: what is reality? What is it? The dictionary defines it as the state of things as they actually exist, as opposed to an idealistic or notional idea of them. So, it is everything that is real. For example, the Harry Potter books are real, but what happened inside the Harry Potter books is not. Or maybe it is. We don't know. Next slide, please. Okay, we know about all of these works of fiction like The Matrix, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, but what is it that makes them so popular? In a study in Ohio in 2010, reporting the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, psychologists discovered that people are prone to subconsciously adopt their behavior, thoughts, beliefs, and internal responses to characters they identify with. So, experts have dubbed this subconscious phenomena experience taking. People actually change their own behavior and thoughts to match those of the characters that they identify with. So basically, what this study concluded was that all of these shows and like movies have characters that we want to become. That could be one reason. We prefer fiction over reality because we want to become who the characters are in real life. Next. Okay. So, Forrest Gump. Rachel Noor wrote in her article, The Psychology of Character Bonding. No, but before that, I want to discuss something really important. Bullying and abuse is on the rise. Anyway, that could relate to the preference of fiction over reality. Well, as it turns out, yes. Who wouldn't prefer fighting a dark wizard over crying themselves to sleep every night because people are playing mean? Why wouldn't we want to fight Voldemort instead of, getting bullied by our bullies? That's not right. So, as I was saying, Rachel Noor in her article called The Psychology of Character Bonding says that director Robert Zemeckis of Forrest Gump likely kept the children can be very cruel in mind when he filmed the seat-taken scene of Forrest Gump. So in the scene, we see through Forrest's eyes how he walks down the bus aisle, and we see all his classmates and like people in his bus. They're sitting and they sneer at him and they refuse to share their seats. And then the camera shifts to Forrest's face, and we see the quiet expression of hurt. What? As viewers, we cannot help but ache for the boy. Our own experiences gathered throughout the course of our lives are the powerful ammunition behind this narrative fiction. So, first, we see through his point of view I tried to find a picture of the seats taken scene. I couldn't find it. So I just put this picture. But if there was, let's pretend there's a picture of that scene. And so we see through his eyes, the young Forrest's eyes, how we feel what he's feeling, his hurt, and he's feeling rejected and he's sad. And then Howard starts at this, a postdoctoral researcher in the English Philology unit of the University of Helsinki. Then we think, poor guy, how can they treat him like that? That's not right. That's not right. You shouldn't do that. Yet we know that Forrest Gump is not a real person. Still, we feel so moved. Why? So, why? Children can be very cruel. That was the first sentence in her original article, Rachel Noor's original article. Speaking from personal experience, I doubt that adults can be as mean as children can be during a particular age. Cruelty exhibited by a child does not only include one kid beating another kid up, it can also include mental abuse. And that's not right. When our psychology teacher was teaching us developmental psychology, she told us that when a child turns 2, they call it the terrible twos. And we were like, why? There's actually nothing wrong with the 2-year-old. He's like little and pudgy and everything. But then she told us that from the ages of 2 to 6, children lack basic sympathy and empathy. So they don't know that they are doing it, so they don't know where to stop and the consequences of their actions. Victims of this kind of abuse first usually slink away from the world, like they become antisocial and they stop talking to people. They don't talk to their parents that much, their class teacher, their friends, people that are their best friends, and any future acquaintances that they would make, fearing that they are just not good enough because they've been told so by their bullies. Or they could go to worlds of their own making. Inventing an imaginary friend, for instance. So, in an article in Psychology Today by Aline Kennedy Moore, she says that having an imaginary friend does not give us evidence that a child is stubborn. Can you change the slide? Does not give us evidence that a child is troubled. However, imaginary friends can be a source of comfort when experiencing difficulties. There have been case studies of children who have imaginary friends when they are going through traumatic experiences. Studies based on views of middle school students who are in risk of developing behavioral problems have been associated. Imaginary friends have been associated in those studies with better coping strategies but lower social preference with peers. So, if somebody has an imaginary friend, they're a loner, nobody wants to talk to them, why do you want to talk to them? They have an imaginary friend already, why do they need real friends? Next slide. Okay. So, in Forrest Gump, no wait, don't go to the next slide, just put it last slide. So in Forrest Gump, we see Forrest sad. And so we develop an emotional bond with Forrest. We cry when his dreams are dashed and we celebrate with him when things are going their way. So we connect with the fictional characters as we would with a friend. There is no one in the world. Okay, now next one. This one is, no, it's not funny. No guys, Fred Weasley died in this scene. So there is no one in the world who did not cry when Fred Weasley died. Literally, if you've ever read the books or seen the movie, it's not possible that you did not cry when Fred Weasley died. Why though? He was not our twin, we don't even know him personally, we just read about him a little bit, but we still cried. Why? The answer is that while reading the book or watching the movie, whatever floats your boat, we put ourselves in George's shoes, we thought about how sad he would be and how broken and devastated he might feel after Fred died. Look at them. What? No, that's not right. Anyway, then you would ask me, Garima, why would you say that we prefer fiction over reality when we go through pain there too? Okay, so there's an answer to this. But if I'm going to say it, you guys are going to think I'm a masochist. But I'm still going to say it because it's here. The answer is that the pain we feel during all of these things, it's in some way satisfying. Go to the next slide. There is no one in the world who did not die and he regenerated. But like most of you won't know because I have noticed that most of you don't watch Doctor Who. But like people who do, everyone cried, guys. And you know what was the weird part? The character in the show, he did not die. He was alive. It's just the person changed. What? My mom got so weirded out because I was crying so much. I cried buckets. I just kept crying for like a week. And I was just like, why? My mom was just like, why, Garima? Why are you crying? And why would you watch it if it makes you cry so hard? And I was like, Mama, it makes me feel good, okay? Like, just let me watch it. No, I said it makes me feel satisfied and good that knowing that I can feel. Next one. Another form of simulation games is, fiction is simulation games. Like The Sims or The Sims, Tiny Tower or the new Kim Kardashian game. So basically what these games do is that they give us like an opportunity to do something that we won't be able to do in real life, and we get to play a kind of sort of godlike role in these games. So I used to be obsessed with The Sims and the Tiny Tower. It got so bad that I had to delete those games off my computer and my iPod. I was just like, no, I can't, because it was distracting me so much. So I just play Tiny Tower now, and it's pretty cool. I've been playing it since March this year. So basically in this game, what you guys do is that you start out with a little, with a lobby and a certain number of coins. I have 500,000 coins, and that you guys haven't noticed. But you start out with like 1,000. And you're supposed to build a tower floor by floor by floor by floor. And according to what I know, you can make 194. And as you guys can see, I already have 115. But I have 115 in this screenshot, but right now I have 122. I'm not bragging, but I'm going to finish the game soon. So, yeah, and it's really good. It's not like I'm ever going to be able to build a tower with 122 floors. It's simply not possible for me, and even if I am able to do that, it's going to take more than 2 days and 16 hours, which is the time it takes to build one floor in my game. So the point is that these games consume us so much that it might cause our loved ones to suggest to us to go to that show when it about strange addictions called My Strange Addiction. Not that happened to me. Yeah, okay, it did happen to me. So anyway, okay. So these games give us a chance to do something that we won't be able to do in real life. And yeah. Okay. Next slide. When I asked my friends, this has no picture. When I asked my friends around the world what they thought of this preference of fiction over reality, one of them said something that really struck me. She said that we prefer fiction over reality because fiction allows us to indulge in naivety, which is not possible for us to do in reality. So I thought that was really deep. I was just like, wow. So I sat down and I thought about it for a couple of hours. Not a couple of hours, but quite some time. And then I thought to myself, where do we get the opportunity to indulge in naivety in fiction, when we are just mere observers of the creative form of art that we are devouring? So the answer came to me, and it was that when we are watching a movie or a TV show, playing a game, reading a book or a poem, for the tiniest bit of a moment, we forget our world, our troubles, our problems, maybe even ourselves, and just get into the fiction, not worry about anything in reality, just We become the people inside the book or the TV show or the movie or the poem or whatever you're reading or watching. Okay, another reason for our preference of fiction over reality could be that we rarely see the bad guy winning. How weird would it be if Lord Voldemort did actually defeat Harry Potter? What? I mean, that won't happen. Nobody would have watched it if that happened in the thing. And what if like Neo, he just continued with the evil system that the architect had devised? No. Everybody would be so mad. But one minute. Do you think that happens in real life? No. It hardly ever happens in real life. In real life, what happens is that we have this rubbish thought in our head that we're gonna win if we're the good guys. No, that rarely ever happens. You're not gonna win if you're the good guy. You're gonna win if you win. So, saying all this may sound like I'm a cynic. You know, Garima, so negative, no, so pessimistic. No, I'm not a cynic. I am. This is a really good quote. It's really good. It's really good, guys. I am and forever will be the optimist, the dreamer of the hoper of far from hopes, and the dreamer of improbable dreams. It was said by the 11th Doctor in Doctor Who, and I like to believe that I'm the same. But, guys, it's not true. It doesn't happen. Bad things do happen to good people. It's not, if you're a good person who does good things, it's not necessary that only good things are going to happen to you. No, 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 no. We don't know who Jack the Ripper is. We don't know his last name or her last name. Does that not make you wonder? Next slide, please. Okay, mafia. Let's not even begin with the mafia. Any mafia. Even when they're put in prison, they form prison gangs. What? What even are those? I don't know. They are criminal organizations that originate within the penal system, and they have continued to operate within correctional facilities throughout the world. So, bad guys continue to be the bad guys that they are after being punished for the bad things that made them the bad guys. In the Matrix, the architect just had a little chat with the Oracle and it was done. That was the end of the movie. Next slide, please. Okay. Another reason is that my friend gave that to me too. The reason was that the thought that a relatable character can have something to set them apart and make them extraordinary gives us hope and more confidence about ourselves. And right now, I literally have 60 examples in my head, buzzing, and I can give you all of them right now, but we don't have enough time. So, I'm just going to give you a couple. So, one is Hermione Granger. And, okay, extraordinary genius plus is a witch who goes to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. And she has been a source of inspiration for all of us who've ever read the books or seen the movie again, whatever, it's a word. And when I first read about her, I was just like, wow, I want to be her. And I wanted to be her so bad. I got my haircut, I had that hair for a bit. I got my haircut just like her. And I was like, and I developed this weird habit of going to the mailbox to get my mail because I had this really strong feeling that I was going to get my Hogwarts letter any day. I can neither confirm nor deny that I got my Hogwarts letter because there are rules. I got it. And next slide please. Next slide please. Okay, to Black Widow. The ex-Russian spy, also known as Natalia Alyanovna Natasha Romanov, who was the antagonist to the Iron Man and later on went to join S.H.I.E.L.D. and then the Avengers Initiative. Now I have to read this because she specialized in every type of martial arts, okay, and every type of martial arts, every function and every program of every computer, and knows every language known to man. Everyone wants to be her. There is no one, I am sure, I can bet my life that there is no one in this room who doesn't want to be her. Because she's so cool. Oh my god. Okay, there are so many more. Like, next slide please. Jess Day from New Girl, Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter, Trinity from The Matrix, Khaleesi Daenerys from the Game of Thrones. These are of course female examples, and there are many male examples too. Next slide please. Nick Fury from the Avengers, Flash from the Justice League, Iron Man from the Avengers, and Batman from the Justice League. They have nothing wrong with, I mean, they do have lots of things. Batman's parents aren't alive. No, I mean, but you still want his powers. Right? Don't you want his powers? Don't you want to be Batman except for the parents' power? Okay. Another last reason. Could you change the slide? Last reason. This is almost the end of my talk. Last reason is that the fan base, the fandom that we have. Nobody judges you for being so excited about things that are not even real. People write stories about stories. Do you know? Everybody knows that. Fan fiction. People are, and then there are cosplays. One of the many activities done collectively in Comic. Have you been to Comic Con? It's so much fun. People dress up as people that they love to be. And okay, if you dressed up like Black Widow in real life, and like you took the metro and you're like dressed in that black tights thing and like, you know, red hair guys, cool, you know, I'm a superhero, then people would judge you. They'd just be like, why is she wearing that? That's so weird. Why would you wear that in real life? But when you go to Comic Con and you do that, people come up to you and say, wow, Garima, that's such a good costume. Wow. I mean, and then if in real life, if you see a person wearing a Batman shirt, you're not going to go up to, if you're in the metro and you see a person wearing a Batman shirt, you're not going to go up to them and say, hi, I really like Batman, we should be friends. But in Comic Con, you see someone you do not know wearing like, dressed up like Harry Potter, you're just going to be like, that's my favorite fandom, yay! You know, we can be friends forever. And then you make friends like that. Because I have made so many friends like that. The basic thing is that they don't judge you for being who you are, and they don't think you're crazy and that you're freaks for liking all the things that you do so much. In conclusion, all I want to say is that it is not a good thing that we like things that are not real over things that actually do exist in reality. But the whole point of the talk was that there are some people who are so lonely, sad, excluded even. Not that I'm saying that people who prefer fiction over reality, which is almost all of us, are loners, but that doesn't change the fact that they have to tether themselves to invention as opposed to fact. It's not right. We need to understand that we cannot live inside our fiction, no matter how hard we try. So let us just really try to make this world a better place. So instead of preferring a fictional world, let us make our world fictional.